Assalamualaikum, Warahmatullahi, Wabarakatuh. My name is Ellen. I am from Melbourne, Australia. Today I'm going to share my changes that I've experienced now that I am a Muslim. There are changes that I was expecting as a Muslim. So on my journey to Islam, I was thinking about the physical changes that I would need to make in my day-to-day lifestyle. But I was never thinking about change of heart and a change of spirituality. I was thinking more of a duty rather than the gift that I would be getting from Islam. Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful for this change, a change that I never ever expected. As I learn, and all Muslims, we're continually learning and continually absorbing, we're continually growing. And there was a particular moment for me where I really felt a shift in my objectives of life and of this dunya, in this world. It was during COVID, and in Victoria here we were all going into lockdown. Everything was closing down except for the essentials of groceries and medicals. We have a business, my husband and I run together, so that's our livelihood, and knowing that that's going to have to close down, like all families, going through this panic of what are we going to do for our income, how are we going to support ourselves. So I was in a state of panic over this, and I was praying, and I was in sujood, and at the time my heart was trying to find the answers of how are we going to get through this. And at that moment I realized the only success is to come out of this with the love of Allah. No matter what happens, lose the business, lose the income, okay, but keep the love of Allah. Keep true to Islam, keep true to your faith, keep true to your honesty, your integrity, the commandments. Keep all of these and you will be successful. And it's alhamdulillah. Sometimes it just makes me speechless. I was so happy that lesson sunk in. This is the essence of Islam, and it's the essence of being a Muslim, and it's the essence of being a slave of Allah. Today's world is so choked up with success on a different scale, and it's all about ambition and career and stature and having and wealth, and that's not, they are gifts from God, but that is not the success. I always think about my judgment day, and success on my judgment day is not about what possessions or what I achieved in this world. My success, will I be granted into Jannah, will I be granted into heaven? It's based on my love for Allah, and how did I perform? How did I go on the test? How did I go in this life in living by His commandments, and living like His messengers have showed us to live, and living through the word of the Quran. So I was so grateful that sunk in, and then now having this, it's brought so much peace. It's brought so much peace to my heart, so much more. I'm so calm most of the time. I try to be. It's brought a lot of perspective on everything. So knowing that, people who are superior and more successful, they too will have their judgment day. They too will bow down before Allah. And will they get into heaven? Only Allah knows. But it's not going to be based on how big their house was or what big fancy career they had. And it makes such a difference in our perspective of things when something's going to, calamities are always going to happen. There's always going to be some problem happening. But how we get through it, alhamdulillah, it's okay. It doesn't matter what the problem is. As long as we get through it with Allah, then we will be successful. We think about Prophet Ayub. He lost his house, he lost his business, he lost his wealth, he lost his family, he lost his own health, he lost everything. But through everything, he kept his love of Allah, and he was successful. He was a prophet. I love his prophet story. It's one of the prophet stories I draw on a lot. So I think that the changes that you can get from becoming a Muslim and embracing the teachings of Allah far far exceeds anything that I could expect. And I hope for all of us, inshallah, that we can, even for Muslims, that we can just work a little bit closer in listening to Allah's message and working closer to following His word and finding that peace in our day, our peace in our day-to-day lives as we take on the journeys that that today, you know, we have to endure. We're going through the things in this life, in this world, but endure these things with the love of Allah, and He will reward us. And you know, I always think that Allah, He loves us so much, and He wants us to succeed. He wants us to do well, and He wants to give us blessings. And we too, we've got to earn that. We've got to show Him how much we love Him as well. So it's a two-way street. I think it's pretty fair. But I hope you enjoyed my talk today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.